Hey there YouTube, this is SJM4306 back with another review video. This time we're taking a look at another tablet. I've actually reviewed Jimtab is the name of the brand, which is an interesting name. It's like raised. Very interesting. Anywho, I reviewed, they made a video projector, like one of those large 1080p ones, LED based, and it was pretty decent. I think, yeah, I did that like three years ago, maybe, something like that. Jeez, time flies. Anywho, they reached out back to me because they are making tablets now, apparently. So we're just gonna open this. Let's see, any identifying information? Model number PD-600. The box is pretty austere, and I'm gonna need a knife. There's tape on here. Give me one sec. Okay, so the lid is off. It looks like it's in white and silver. No, it's not. It's black. I don't know. Maybe that's just a generic box, right? It has a foam insert. Looks like it has like a cutout for like a larger size tablet. I don't know what's going on there. But yeah, there's like double cut foam. Anywho, we have the tablet itself right here. We'll take a look at that in a second. It's pretty hefty. It's cold. It's like maybe 40 or 50 out right now, so yeah, that tracks. It's been out there like all day, and it feels like metal and glass, so that's definitely a good sign. Retail for this, by the way, I don't remember off the top of my head. I'll put a little thing down here with the current price as of editing. Ooh, a little finger hole. Oh yeah, I forgot. This actually does come, it's sort of, I guess, meant for like maybe office use or as a computer replacement sort of thing, because it comes with the Bluetooth keyboard. That is pretty interesting. This is just pretty much a bog standard rechargeable keyboard. There's actually metal on the back. That's interesting, but it's a very much like a laptop sort of feeling with the actual keys themselves, the mechanism. Yeah, I mean, we'll test this out in a sec. Beyond that, we have, let's see, a decently long-looking Type-C to full-size A USB-C cable. That's pretty good. That looks like it's probably going to be like a good 4 feet, at least. It looks like based off of the cableage. That's good. We have a stylus. It's one of those foam sort of ones. Capacitive, obviously, because the screen's capacitive. We have a card. I'm guessing, is this the warranty card? Yeah, it's email support. They have a Facebook group, apparently. And your happiness matters. How can we assist you today? So there's that. Patch installation cleaning kit. It's a screen cleaning kit thing, I guess. No, it's to apply a screen protector or something. I don't know. What? I guess, I mean, it's soft, it's flexible, so I'm guessing this is just like a screen cleaning kit thing. We have an AC adapter, which, come on. There. Which is one of these guys. It's let's see, 5 volts, 2 amps, so 10 watts, not going to fast charge, but I mean, it'll get the job done. I believe the battery in this guy is like decently large, like at least 5,000 milliamp hours, so hopefully you get pretty good battery life. It comes with one of these USB-C to full-size adapters, so this way you can actually plug like thumb drives and hard drives and stuff into it. That's really cool, which also implies then that this does, you know, data over USB, so USB on the go, or OTG. So that's a good sign. And then for for the keyboard, I guess the keyboard must have a micro USB cable. So they give you a little short one to charge that. And beyond that, we have the obligatory paperwork. This is the manual for the keyboard. Other side's in Chinese. Yeah, that should be pretty easy. And we have the actual manual for the tablet itself. It looks like a photocopied sort of thing going on. It does have screenshots of Android and whatnot. And let's just see, does this have any technical information? Anything that I would be interested in? No, that was a waste of time. No technical information in this. Well, I guess we'll get to it when I actually turn on the tablet. We'll look at the specifications. So, it's one of these 10.1 inch tablets. This is pretty decently hefty, I will say. And yeah, the screen protector is already applied. There's already a little bubble in the corner there. But yeah, at least there's no bubbles on the screen. There's some around the perimeter. So yeah, might take off that screen protector. Hey there. But yeah, looks, yeah, it feels like glass. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's glass. The sides are, it's hard to tell. The back feels like metal. Yeah, the back is absolutely metal. The edges might be plastic. The way that it feels, yeah, the edges, the sides are all plastic. There is what appears to be a 2-camera array and a LED flash. It says AI camera. What the heck does that even mean? I don't know. We have the logo on the back, but that's it. It's sort of austere. And, oh yeah, you can definitely see the difference between, that is definitely plastic. Yeah, I'm guessing that's where all the antennas are, along the top edge there. On the bottom, we have 2 stereo speakers. And by the way, yeah, this is like the gray version. Maybe they make a white version because it looks like there's a white version on the lid of the box. But yeah, we see the front-facing cameras, a little pinhole one. This is made for like landscape viewing. Obviously, you can put it up to portrait if you just, you know, rotate it. But yeah, obviously this is kind of targeted towards like content media consumption. So that's why the camera is on the long edge. We have a headphone jack. Yay for headphone jacks. Interesting place to put it, like right in the corner. Okay. We have like what looks like a SIM ejection little tray thing. That's undoubtedly going to be micro SD card, which is also a second major thing that this has that a lot of phones are now dropping or already have dropped. So yeah, this has expandable memory. I believe they say you can upgrade it up to a terabyte, but yeah, undoubtedly you could just stick any card you want in there pretty much. Should work fine. We have 3 buttons on the side, 2 volume, 1 power button, which has a red dot on it, and a hole there, probably for a mic. And on the same side is the USB-C connector. So that's interesting. On the other side, there's absolutely nothing. So yeah, this is kind of one-handy. It's kind of heavy, if I'm going to be honest. But that probably means that it's made of glass and metal, so of course it's going to be heavy. But also, hopefully, it means that this has a lot of battery in it. I like tablets that you can get like, if you can get close to 10 hours of runtime, like while watching like YouTube videos and whatnot, that's a good tablet for me. So yeah, what I'm gonna do is switch this on. Hopefully there's battery power in it. There we go. It is booting right now. One thing I'm noticing is there is some sort of off-axis light bleed through like portions that are supposed to be black. The LCD, I don't believe, is an IPS, and the resolution, I think, is like 1200 by 800, something like that. So it's not, it's technically above 720p if you consider that HD, but apparently Google doesn't, or YouTube doesn't consider that HD, so this is not 1080p. But just looking at it, it doesn't look horrible. Booted right up. This was already configured, that means, because I did not set this up and it didn't ask me for anything. So yeah, how do I, settings? Is this a skin version of Android? This looks different than I'm used to. Let's take a look. So about the tablet, owner. Owner? This is running Android 12. It's model PD-600. Let's see. Can I get into developer? Oh, that's just the Android thingy. So I can hear it clicking when I'm clicking these, but I'm not getting any prompt for like a developer mode. So I don't know. Is that not? Okay, guess not. So I guess I can't access developer mode, unfortunately, maybe? Oh, no. Okay, you have to do it on the build number, and now I'm developer. That's interesting. Okay, So that's slightly different than I'm used to. Duraspeed. What the heck is Duraspeed? Boost foreground app by restrict. It's just the power kind of management thing. One interesting thing on the site. So I believe this has, if we take a look at storage, this has 128 gigs of flash. Where's like the total? There we go. 128 gigabytes total of internal flash. Then you have the SD card that you can expand it. And I believe this has 6 gigs of RAM, and then it does like a swap file sort of thing. So I think you can get an additional couple gigs if you use the internal flash memory as sort of a swap file. But yeah, that should be pretty interesting. I'm probably just going to go through and reset this up and configure it for my account. The fact that this didn't give me like the initial setup screen is a little weird. I wonder if this is sort of like a test or a prototype unit or something that they sent me. So I'm just going to wipe this and set it up completely from scratch myself. The battery, let's see if this will tell me any technical information. It doesn't actually tell me. Usually there's a thing in Android where it'll tell you what like the battery reports itself as capacity wise. But yeah, I'm not seeing that. Anywho, I guess I am going to just set this up. So far it feels really nice. Like physically, the build quality. I have to see about the software and whatnot. This is supposed to have an octa-core processor, but that doesn't really tell me anything about how well it'll work. There are tons of like lower end octa-core processors now. So anywho, I'm going to set this up, and the next time you see it, it'll be with my background and all my apps and whatnot. And I'll have used this for at least a week and give you guys my findings. Okay, here we are. I've been using this tablet for about a week. And it's actually pretty interesting. There are a couple things I found about it. This is very similar, I've noticed, to the Dragontouch 10-inch tablet that I reviewed a couple years ago. But the chipset on this one is definitely much better. So I just have this propped up on a stand, by the way, just to make it easier to film. But this guy has face unlock, which works pretty decently well, honestly. So obviously it's using the front-facing camera for that. And it comes with a number of accessories. This isn't super cheap. Pricing, I would say, is in line with other kind of budget 10-inch tablets. But for the most part, I think this is just sort of marketed towards people who want to use this as a replacement for like a desktop computer or laptop. Because it comes with a Bluetooth keyboard, which I have paired. And you can see I'm going through and scrolling and et cetera, et cetera. We can open up YouTube here. And opened up YouTube, and let's just search my own channel, because why not? And here we go. I'm in, I can scroll through with the keyboard, et cetera, et cetera. The screen, now, to be perfectly honest, the screen isn't technically HD, depending on what your definition of HD is. It's basically, I think it's a little bit above 720p, basically. And so if you're expecting a 1080p screen, this is not it. It is physically large. It's not too bad if you're not looking at it like really close to the screen. It looks fine for videos. One thing I've noticed though is when you're playing back content, it tends to want to, at least on the YouTube app, it tends to want to go to lower resolutions. And I think that's maybe a function of the Widevine configuration of this tablet. It's basically a licensing thing, I think, for like streaming video. And that's what sets what like can natively be played back on here. Here, I can set the resolution higher, of course, but because the screen's only like about 720p-ish, you're limited to actually visually getting, that amount of content. So I could set this to 1080p, 4K, whatever. And I actually never tried 4K, but I definitely set this to 1080p, and it looks no different than 720p, obviously, because the display is limited to 720p. But I've noticed when I first start up videos, I've changed all the settings to like maximize resolution and all that, but it always resorts back to like 480p for some reason. and it looks noticeably worse, obviously, at 480p than 720p, which is the native resolution. And so, yeah, we just go in here and pick a random video. Speakers get pretty loud. Full screen it. Come on. There we go.
Hey there, YouTube. This is sjm4306.
So yeah, speakers get loud, but I will say that they're lacking in the bass department. They have plenty of mids and higher frequencies, especially the higher frequencies. But yeah, not really any bass. And given the size, you know, how thin the tablet is roughly, yeah, there's really not a lot of room in there, I guess, for larger speakers. Darn it. Okay, there we go. So yeah, speakers are usable, but like I wouldn't really honestly enjoy them. I use Bluetooth headphones and like Bluetooth speakers nowadays for pretty much everything, so that's not really a super big deal to me. Yeah, keyboard even works for playback too. Okay, yeah. I'm just gonna let that play in the background there. Battery life seemed okay. After like streaming for about an hour, I lost maybe about like 15% battery-ish. So I'm guessing on average this is maybe like a 6 to 8 hour tablet, realistically speaking, if you're using wireless. If you're playing from like local off the SD card, which by the way, that's a huge thing. This has an SD card built in, an SD card reader, so you can actually use this with an expandable, you know, external memory. So that's awesome. The 128 gigs internal is a welcome change from like, I've been seeing a lot of like cheaper tablets, or for some reason they're always stuck on like 32 gigs or 64 gigs. So it's nice to have more base storage internally. You can do the thing where you format external storage as internal storage, if that's what you want. So you can stick a 1 terabyte card in here. I have no doubt this will take a 1 terabyte card. One thing that does stink is this is running a older version of Android. So obviously this is probably not going to be getting an update unless if you compile it yourself for like Android 13, even if it could run Android 13 or whatever. The screen looks decent, honestly. Let's just see what resolution this... Yeah, see, it's defaulted to auto 480p. Like, why? That is really annoying. So let's just bump that at least to 720p. And that'll give you a better idea of once that buffers in. One thing I've noticed is the touch sensitivity is a little hit or miss, especially towards like the edges. Icons that are like in any of the corners sometimes like don't trigger reliably. I have to press a little harder than I'm used to. I'm used to like tablets being super responsive. I don't know if that's just like a CPU thing or if it's the actual sensitivity of the touch layer isn't as high as it should be. It's occasionally an issue, like when I was trying to hit the... Now it works, of course. But the first time when I was trying to expand the window, like I had to hit it like 3 or 4 times. So there's obviously something going on with that. Yeah, but I mean, like in terms of like the colors from the image, the brightness, it's pretty decent. If I go up and... Yeah, brightness isn't even set to full. If I hit that full blast... That is a decently bright display, honestly. Like I'd be perfectly happy using that. It probably will wash out if you go outside with this kind of tablet because it has a glossy screen. The outside isn't like really matte or anything. Most tablets have glossy external, like it's just glass. So outdoors is probably going to be a problem with pretty much every tablet. But yeah, like the image itself looks fine now. I've noticed some compression artifacting. That's YouTube. That has nothing to do with the tablet itself. Because if I... There you go. If I just go to the home screen, just pause that for a sec. Everything looks like decently sharp and clear. I love this background, by the way. It's I think it's no longer available off the Play Store, but it's like Pixel Road, I think it was called. But anywho, yeah. When I first got this, you guys saw I had to reset it. It was already set up. I don't know if that's how they normally come because my box looks a little bit beat up, like it's been opened before or whatnot. I don't know if that's the case or not, if this was like a prototype or a demo unit or whatever. But I basically just wiped it and I reset it up from scratch just to be safe and just to give me like just to give me sort of like a calm state of mind, just in case there's something weird installed on it or whatever. I always just do fresh installs of stuff, just factory resets if it's not already factory reset. It does come with also this USB to USB-C dongle, so you can use thumb drives. And good thing is I see the contacts for USB type USB 3.0. So this should be able to read. This is a 3.0 drive. I think I just have MP3s on here. Interestingly enough, the USB connector is on the side there. Sure, you can open that. Fine. So yeah, welcome, dear user. I don't care. Sure, whatever. So we have my video here. It's playing in the background. I'll just leave that. No, what? Sure, whatever. I don't care. Just let me use the thing. Okay, so I'm using Solid Explorer just as the file explorer, whatever. I can access this USB stick. It actually has a light on it. That's pretty nice, just to show you that it's powered, and obviously that doesn't show you that it's transferring data or anything like that. But here, yeah, I have the thumb drive. I have a bunch of Persona music because that's what I've been listening to. And also have, let's just play. So obviously I have the video playing, but I could also open this up. There we go. I have multiple things going on at once. Let's just exit out of that. So yeah, that works pretty well. I do have, how do I eject this actually? There we go. Eject. Give me my thumb drive back. Okay. And additionally, I do have, obviously the internal memory is 128 gigabytes. I also have a 128 gigabyte SD card installed as well. And you could see I have just random videos and stuff. I did install TubeMate, so I did download some YouTube videos. It seemed pretty decently fast. I couldn't really tell. I don't think it was Wi-Fi 6. I think it was like Wi-Fi 5 speeds. So on average, I think I was getting like probably like 6 to 10 megabytes per second on the download speed. We can run a quick internet test actually. That might give you a better idea. I did run Geekbench as well, but let's just run an internet speed test. I keep thinking I can bring up the onboard keyboard, but I already have a keyboard paired to it. So let's just see what we're getting here. I have decently fast. I have FiOS, so it should be pretty fast. So yeah, I'm getting just about 300 megabits per second on the download, and on the upload side, I'm getting like 160 something. So yeah, we can let this finish out. Yeah, about like 150 on average. So yeah, obviously the limitation probably is closer to my actual internet that I have, the Wi-Fi router and everything. But yeah. So I also ran some Geekbench 6 benchmarks because I wanted to know if I could use this for gaming at all, and the answer is, for the most part, yeah. But for certain things below certain capabilities. So if I just look at a past score here, you can see here a single core is 281, which is honestly not great. Multi-core, because this is, I believe this has quad or octacore. I think it's octacore. It jumps up to 1092. If I go to the GPU side, it's 1126. Those numbers mean not really that much to me, honestly. People probably want to see them. Then you can at least compare it to some other tablets within the price range. If I just exit out. One thing I found interesting was I actually installed EtherSX2. Wow, geez, it's really hard for me to say for some reason. And it actually runs. I have 2 Persona games installed. I wonder, could you use a keyboard for this? Is this mapped? let's just let this load. It's not the fastest I've noticed. I think I have the ROMs for this stored on the SD card, which probably isn't helping things out. But once we get into the game, like these menus are obviously running 60 frames a second. There's not really much to them. Once we actually get into the FMV is running about 25-ish for the gameplay there. Okay, I guess the keyboard does not work for this. Let's actually just get into the game. I think I have a save game. Like for the most part, it seems to be hovering like around 25 to 30 frames, at least for Persona 3. And this is actually kind of borderline playable, honestly. This isn't the most graphically intense game, obviously. But yeah, like that is perfectly kosher. I can open a menu, maybe? No? Haven't. There we go. And I can just run around here. Yeah, it's like hovering around 30 frames a second. So at least for this game, yeah, that'll work. I think this is early game. I haven't really played this too much on here. So yeah, I can't go out yet. But yeah, like in terms of like the frame rate, at least in this area, works decently. I can just exit out of that and oops, exit game. Persona 4 is much the same from what I remember. I think it did tend to stutter a little more on this, but let's just see. Once we actually get into the game. Yeah, about 30 frames so far. I think for some reason the intro, the FMV for this, stuttered more. Had a little more trouble. Yeah, you can see it's dropping to like 23, 24. Yeah, but I mean, that's still playable for most of the game. I think the in-game sequences actually were better. Yeah, we're back up to like 30. And I think I also started a save file just to see how this would run as well. Yeah, on the Dragontouch tablet that looks very similar to this but is not this. That I couldn't even run Aether SX2. So the fact that this runs like as well as it does, I mean, here just running around, I'm getting pretty solid like 29, 30 FPS. And I don't think I'm particularly I can't really do anything in the game as of this time, but you can check the fridge. Fried rice. Sure. Gameplay. I ate fried rice. There you go. You heard it from me. You can play Persona 4 and eat fried rice on this tablet. So yeah, this runs honestly like pretty decent. It doesn't seem to like really get super warm either. So if I just exit out of this, yeah, and doing all this ate up like 7% of the battery life, which isn't horrible. So yeah, I expect this to like be able to run like even under heavier stuff. Like you should at least be able to get like 6 to 8 hours, and then more if you're playing off of local storage and not using Wi-Fi so much, or not really hammering the CPU or the GPU. Yeah, overall, I think the pricing on this was like $150-ish, which for the tablet alone is probably a fair price. It comes with a lot of accessories. Oh yeah, I forgot. It also came with a stylus, which I guess if that's your thing, it works. I mean, I can't say that it doesn't work. Now, obviously, don't be expecting this to be like a super powerhouse or something like that, like the flagship Samsung tablets. Those cost hundreds and hundreds of dollars for a very specific reason. This is, I think this would be a good tablet honestly, for like your parent or grandparent who's not necessarily tech literate. The fact that it comes with like the keyboard and whatnot, it doesn't come with a case, so it would have been nice if the keyboard like attached to it like a laptop, like magnetically or something. But you could probably like make something or like find a case that'll fit, like a generic tablet case that'll fit both. But yeah, like you could totally get this for like a parent who just wants to like watch YouTube videos, check their email maybe, and maybe type like a Word file every once in a while, or web surf. This would be perfectly cromulent for something like that. Sort of like a mini laptop replacement. And new character unlocked. Okay. But yeah, so overall, like pretty happy with this. For like the 150 price tag, honestly, you could do worse. You could definitely do better, but you could also do much worse. It's interesting, the USB-C connectors on the side. I kind of like that because then you could have it on a stand like this and then have a cable plugged into the side or a USB drive in the side. If it was on the bottom, you couldn't stand it up like this with the USB plugged in, or it'd have to be upside down or something weird. All the buttons are also on the side. That takes some getting used to because like every tablet I've owned, the buttons have been on the what would be the top. Like I currently have a Samsung tablet here, and all the buttons are on the top side when you're actually using it. But yeah, overall pretty happy with this. This is actually going to go to my mom. She has an aging Samsung tablet. It's a real old one, and it hasn't gotten an update in ages, and it's just been getting so sluggish that like she's legitimately gotten frustrated with it. So this should be a very decent upgrade for like not that much, for about 150. Like yeah, I would have absolutely bought this for her. One thing that I do have to say though is if you have it set up on like a stand like this, or you have some kind of kickstand case or whatever, it's not going to be an issue. But if you handhold your tablets, the edges are they're not sharp, but they're not rounded either. They're sort of like a chamfered but metal edge. It's not the super comfortablest to hold in your hands like this. It is pretty heavy for the size. A lot of the more expensive 10-inch tablets will be like much thinner and much lighter so that it's more comfortable to hold. This obviously is designed kind of down to a price, but like it doesn't use cheap parts. It uses glass and metal, but the downside of that then is the edges are like sort of slightly uncomfortable after a while. I wouldn't like hold this. I definitely wouldn't hold this one-handed. Two-handed is a bit better, but like the edges start to dig into your palms after a little while. Honestly, this would be a set up on like a stand or something sort of thing. Like I would not have this in my palms for very long. I would have like a kickstand case or whatever to prop it up as in order to use it. Off-axis viewing, just to let you know, is okay. I mean, yeah, that's totally cromulent. This is not an IPS. It's a step above like the cheaper screens that I've seen that are like obviously some kind of older like FSTN or something like that. Super twisted pneumatic. Definitely better than those. Not as good as IPS. Definitely not as good as OLED. But this is like literally like a sixth of the price of tablets in that range anyway. I do really like the SD card reader. It fits in nice and flush. You will need like a key to open it, like one of those SIM card ejection tools. That's not really that big of a deal. You can stick a card in here. I only have 128 gigs in here. I have no doubt this will take like at least a terabyte. That's fine. Odd placement of the headphone jack. It's all the way in the corner here, like very cornerish. My mom uses Bluetooth all the time pretty much, but occasionally we'll use wired, so that's nice to at least have a headphone jack there. My mom will enjoy the keyboard portion. She can use it to control the tablet because she usually sits on the couch and then has this on the coffee table in front of her, like on a stand. And so she will probably definitely be using this keyboard so that she doesn't have to lean forward to like touch something on the screen to control it. So yeah, I can see her using the keyboard. She does occasionally plug in thumb drives to like transfer music on and off. So that's good that it comes with this. That works fine. And also she occasionally does use like a stylus or whatnot. And yeah, this is a decent size, a decently large size. Forgot to mention this. The camera is sort of slow, jittery. I mean, yeah, it's not great, even like the resolution of it. There are what appears to be 2 cameras on the back, but there's only actually one. No matter what setting I choose, if I cover one or the other, this one, it basically never shows an image through that. So I can cover that and change settings. And so obviously that's not an actual camera. So it only really has one camera, even though that's kind of naughty that they try to make it look like it's 2. But anywho, I would not get this for a camera. The front-facing camera is probably what you'll end up using most. If I just, how do I switch that? There we go. You can see my ceiling fan there. That is good enough for like web calls and whatnot, and like calling family members and all that. It'll get by on that just fine, but yeah, I wouldn't buy this specifically for any of the cameras. Anyway, once again, huge thanks to Jimtab for sending this guy in. The model number, I believe, was the PD-600. Anywho, I've rambled on for long enough, so hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Also, I found this random image that was saved onto the tablet, and I mean, it's just like, you know, support and help and whatnot in their YouTube channel. I found this weird one thing. So, smart home theater technology paranoia. What?